Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So it's Friday, 8 o'clock. Case's movie review is happening right now. And, you know, just in case you're new to the show, Case, the producer, is 25 years old. And before we started doing this 5 months ago, I would make movie references on the show all the time. And he'd go, because he wouldn't get it. He wouldn't know it. He'd never seen any of these big movies. So now he's gone through things like, I don't know, Shawshank Redemption, Braveheart. What else, Kenzie? Dirty Dancing, The Mummy.
Karate Kid, Back to the Future.
He's
Independence Day.
Oh, yeah, can't forget Independence Day. All big blockbusters, we're putting him on. And so he has now become a movie guy. He loves movies now, you realize.
I think you both realize this, that whatever I like, I have to really, really like. I'm not kind of into anything, and it turns out I love movies, which means I'm going to be a super big movie guy now, which means not only enjoying the classics, but also I got to head to the theater. I got to get up to date on what's out now.
So there's a little twist this week where the movie Twisters has set records in the box office, and I think there's a little bit of a comeback. Like, Kenzie loves going to the movie with her family. Like, I think people are going back to the theaters. Obviously, we're going to talk about Deadpool, Wolverine later on in a little bit. We'll give you an update on that kind of information. But Inside Out 2 has done $603 million. Despicable Me 4, $273 million.
Baby.
But we gotta entertain these kids.
I love the Minions.
But Twisters is number one weekly right now with $113 million, but $81 million in the gross of the week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is
Well, as I've said, I don't want the movie theater to die. We've talked about this before. I'm a big believer in it. And I understand not seeing everything there. It's expensive to go. I get it. But there are movie theater movies, and Twisters would be one of those. The immersive experience where you're like, oh, I'm in a Twister. This is awesome.
Yes. And this is awesome. There's my dog.
With popcorn.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the perfect way to be inside of a Twister.
Exactly. So last week, for those that don't know, I watched Twister from 1996. That review is on the Brian and Kenzie podcast. I liked it so much. With this movie being out now, I went to the theater yesterday. I watched Twisters. And Brian, do you have that trailer ready to go?
This is the trailer for the movie that's in the theater now, Twisters.
We are professional tornado wranglers. Put your harness on. I'm doing it. Going to a tornado, for God's sake.
They're combining.
Do you ever see anything like this?
Not like this.
Hold on. How you doing back there, Ben? All right, you feel it? Chase it. Do not try this at home.
Is that Nickelback in there?
If it's not Nickelback, it's a Nickelback adjacent artist. And there's a lot of songs in this movie where I went, is that Nickelback? I can't tell.
You don't understand the Twisters soundtrack.
Not for me.
Actually, it's incredible is what I was going to say. So
It's for Kenzie.
No, I mean, the star-studded list of who is on this is absolutely insane.
It's country heavy, right?
It's very country heavy, but I mean, it's like just a heavy hitters playlist. You have like Luke Combs, Miranda Lambert, Thomas Rhett, Megan Maroney, Lainey Wilson, Bailey Zimmerman, Jelly Roll, Kane Brown, Tyler Childers, who you do love.
I do like Tyler.
So
you missed his show last week when you moved.
I know. The rest of those artists, not for me.
Shania Twain, Benson Boone, Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges was my wedding song.
He's incredible. I love him.
And I love Shania Twain.
And I didn't even list everybody. Like, this is insane.
Well, you know what's refreshing about that?
What?
It's a new movie with a soundtrack with artists on it. It's not just like a symphony playing all kinds of dramatic music, which I don't mind, but that's what I like about that.
Really fast. Also, Will Dorado is on this playlist, and we have the pop-up with them next Friday.
Will Dorado got on the soundtrack?
Indeed.
Will Dorado's on this. Wall of Death, great song. So they are on there, and you can see them for free and live at Reggie's next Friday at our pop-up.
Next Thursday, actually.
Oh, Thursday. Sorry, next Thursday.
That's a 21 and over show that's free at Reggie's Rock Club. So there you go. Download those first come, first serve tickets at Q101.com right now. Sponsored by our great friends Heineken Silver, Wintrust Community Bank, and the Illinois Department of Transportation.
Yeah!
We want to get our people in there to help to make it happen. All right, so we're getting up against it here, but let's come back and get your review. So this is a spoiler-free review.
The only thing that I can spoil is that there's tornadoes in this movie. And if we could all come to that understanding, if you're okay with me talking about tornadoes in this movie, we're all going to be good. You don't have to go anywhere. I'll tell you whether or not you need to see Twisters in theaters in just a few minutes.
Thanks for ruining the movie. Thanks a lot. That sucks, yeah.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
All right, here we go. The movie Twisters is in the theaters. Case the producer has done movie reviews for months of all the movies you've seen that he hasn't seen. But this is a movie for a twist today. A movie you probably haven't seen yet, although it's at $100 million this week, Twisters. And he has seen. Actually went to the theater. Where'd you go see it?
Alamo Draft House next to Wrigley Field.
Oh, that place looks awesome. I've never been there.
I didn't know there was a movie theater next to Wrigley Field because, again, I'm just now getting into movies. It's going
Yeah.
to become my new thing.
Yeah.
So if you've got like a family of young kids, you can go to a 120 game at Wrigley and then walk across the street and go see a movie, which seems like if you live out in the burbs, if you live deep, what an excellent day to spend in the city.
Totally. Have you been in there, Kenzie?
I have not been to that movie theater.
Because they serve food and drink in there, and it's supposed to be really good seats.
You know, when it comes to Cubs games, because you have to go really early and stay really late and stuff with the husband. There's not usually many activities planned afterwards.
You have to stay late?
We have to analyze the game, you know. Can't miss the song if they win. It's a whole thing.
So, Kenzie, I want to go over to Murphy's here and break down the second inning with you.
He's usually got a lot of phone calls to make afterwards. Like, oh,
What is he calling scouts?
I don't know.
Did you see what happened?
I always feel like Drew Barrymore.
Did you see what happened?
I'd always feel like Drew Barrymore in Fever Pitch, which is like, oh my God, and they take your opinion and listen to you when he says he likes to go to training camp.
I haven't seen it. Don't
know.
know. I'll add Fever Pitch to the list.
Is Fever
Very
Pitch a big
good.
enough movie to add to his list?
I love Fever Pitch because it's my actual relationship, only it's supposed to be a comedy.
Not a horror movie.
And I'm like, no, this is I think they thought it was a plot so ridiculous it would be a comedy, and I'm like, oh no, it's happening to me right now.
This is completely unrelatable to the average person.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a
but-
minute.
Which makes it funny. And I'm like, huh.
No one could have this going on. Okay, so back to Twisters, which describe to me, Case, is this a sequel to the 1996 Twister? Is it a reboot? What the hell is it?
It's its own thing. Here's what's rad is that, like I said, I watched Twister from 1996 last week, and I loved it so much that I really wanted to do this review this week. My girlfriend, who I went with, had not seen Twister. This was entirely new to her. She followed the story the entire time. The only real lineage between the two, the only bridge, is the Dorothy machine that they use to track tornadoes. That's in the movie. There's references made to that, but it's not like they're referencing Bill Paxton's character. There's no characters that were in the first one that show up in the second one. It's an entirely new thing. So if you haven't seen the first one, don't feel left out. You can absolutely still see Twisters and follow along completely.
Good. That's a good start.
It is. This movie is a movie theater movie. And I've watched enough movies at home over the last 5 months to know what a movie theater movie is. It is so loud. It is so abrasive, specifically the first storm, because they do mirror how in Twister, there's the storm with the little girl, then she grows up to do storm chasing.
To be Helen Hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. They mirror that a little bit in this movie. You're not ready for the first storm. There are twists and turns, twists like tornadoes, in this movie, in this first storm in particular, that I did not see coming, that scared me like a little baby in the Alamo Draft House. I was petrified from the first scene on.
So it's not like fake AI-ish looking.
No.
They look real.
No, you feel like you're in a storm, and there's been 4D showings of this movie where your chair moves and you get misted with water. I didn't go see that.
Misted with water.
It's 4D. You feel it.
You're in the movie.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, is someone
Alamo, you're in the movie.
Is there like one of the guys that work there just throwing water at you, spitting
Sure,
water?
Yeah.
That's what I
It's
pictured.
like Palm Sunday where they throw the palms at you in
Yeah.
Catholic Church.
That's what I pictured.
I think they've specially installed misters.
Like in Vegas, like all the misters that are outside to keep it cool.
Or like when you go to an amusement park.
Yeah. All right.
Here's the great thing about this movie, and here's what I would recommend everybody hone in on if they go and see it, because I would recommend seeing this by yourself, with your family. It's a great date movie. Whole thing, whatever predicament you're in, I think this movie's worth going to see. In the first Twister, we talked about last week how, to me, the best part of the movie was that there's the tried and true scientific storm chasers that are in it for the science. And then, as Bill Paxton said, there are these people that are in it for the money.
Jonas, son of a bitch. Jonas Miller, he's a night crawler. We all started out in the same lab, and Jonas went out and got himself some corporate sponsors. He's in it for the money, not the science.
That's right.
That was my favorite line of
It's called having a
Twister.
job, but it's
so
fine.
good. It's so good.
Brian and I are a bunch of corporate sellouts. We talk for the money.
Sorry, I want to pay rent and get corporate sponsors. I forgot he said son of a bitch in that
I know,
line, too.
it's so good.
Son of a bitch.
This is what I get. It's so great.
Jonas, son of a bitch.
Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. God, what a
Absolutely.
legend.
And pour one out for Philip Seymour Hoffman while you're there.
That's right.
I know. The great thing in this movie is that the foil to the main storm chasers, they've updated it for 2024 vernacular. This guy's played by Glenn Powell, who was in the new Top Gun movie. He's in a bunch of big stuff.
Kenzie, you know who he is from Top Gun 2. He was the villain.
Yeah.
He was like the Val Kilmer character in Top Gun 2.
I know.
His name in the movie is Tyler Owens, and he is a YouTube sensation storm chaser who refers to himself specifically as a tornado wrangler. So he's like one of these Nickelback listening, rhinestone jean wearing cowboy guys.
You're talking about Glenn Powell, right?
Yeah.
The beautiful angel Glenn Powell. Is that who you're referencing?
Sure,
Okay.
that's fine. All I
The
know
most
is that
stunning man is, are you referencing the beautiful, the intelligent, the charismatic Glenn Powell?
That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one. And he shows up in a big cowboy hat and he says he's not a storm chaser. He's a tornado wrangler.
Hell yes.
Wrangle me, baby. Amen.
I didn't realize you had a thing for this guy.
Neither did I.
He's very adorable.
He is. I will agree. He's cute.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
So his whole thing is he like live streams these tornado chases, right? And at one point, because he's like a badass, he doesn't play by the rules of the scientist. This is maybe a spoiler, but it's worth mentioning. He goes into a tornado and he shoots fireworks at it just to prove that he can shoot fireworks into a tornado.
Oh, that's awesome.
This dude's a badass.
Okay.
Now, I moralistically don't like him because he seems like he'd be really into like Hardy and Nickelback and a bunch of like country bands I don't like.
Yeah.
But what a great character, what a great update. And the thing that I love is when he comes on screen, obviously they're in Tornado Alley, they're in Oklahoma, and when he pulls up, they go, ugh, he's a storm chaser from Arkansas, which is the same as like he
Son
does
of
it for
a
the money.
bitch. Oh my God.
I love that. His character's awesome. He has a great sort of, they get a little romantic in this movie. I really like the way they played off
What
that.
bitch is he with?
The very good looking bitch in the movie, the main character. I forget
Let's
who she is.
let's call her a nice lady. Let's call her a nice
No.
lady.
What whore? What Arkansas whore?
it's Daisy Edgar Jones.
Oh, that's who he falls in love with?
Yeah, she's a looker.
I don't know her.
Not Kiernan Shipka?
No, Daisy Edgar Jones.
Because she's listed as number 2 in this movie,
It's
not
Daisy,
Daisy Edgar
it's
Jones.
Daisy Edgar Jones.
Whoa.
She's pale and blonde in the Storm Chaser. It's great. I have no complaints. She was, for everything Glenn
Was she
Powell does
blonde
for
in the
you.
movie? 'Cause
She
she's
is.
brunette in real life.
I know she's blonde for the movie.
Oh, that's your type.
Oh, they hit a home run.
Wait, now, who is this that Kenzie pointed out? This Kiernan Shipka.
Kiernan Shipka.
I didn't see
There's
the
no
R.
M.
So she's not
Kiernan
your-
Shipka.
She also-
She plays Addie in the movie. Who's Addie?
She's in like one scene.
Really?
She's listed as number 2.
I know.
Did you see
If you go to IMDb, like he's first, the Tyler Owens actor, the villain, and then she's second.
She's not an important part of this movie.
Huh.
She's number 2.
It's
Well,
Daisy
she got,
Edgar
very
Jones.
cute.
well, she got Kenzie's attention, so maybe that's why they put her number 2 on
Let
there.
me tell you something. It's probably because Daisy's such a whore.
Yeah.
Daisy's not a whore. The movie is great. Everybody should go see it in theaters. It's really, really enjoyable. I wish it was a tad shorter. There's a few scenes where they try to either play up the romance or play up the ethics of storm chasing that I could do without. This was about 2 hours. It could have cut down to about an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay.
But on the whole, I say this as a movie guy now.
Oh, you're a big movie guy now.
I've seen a few movies in my day.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this does justice to the original Twister while also modernizing it with special effects and up-to-date references that are really, really enjoyable. I loved this movie.
Okay, so you gave Twister 8 1/4?
8 1/4 Twisters out of 10. I feel comfortable giving this 8 Twisters out of 10. The original, it's Bill Paxton, it's Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's untouchable to a certain degree. But this movie is a fitting follow-up. It doesn't soil the name of the original. And in fact, it's a whole lot of fun for the whole family.
Well, there you go. A movie review, the first time a new movie review, Twisters.
Possibly the only time. We're going to go back to classics next week, but I really, really want to talk about this because it's sweeping the nation. It's going to end up being one of the highest grossing films of the year, and rightfully so.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.